Hey everyone, and welcome. You've probably heard the terms all the time. Someone's charged with a crime, or someone else is suing a company for millions. But what's really the difference? It turns out there are two completely separate justice systems running in parallel, and today we're going to break down what makes them tick. You know, every big legal battle, every complicated case you read about, it all boils down to just one single moment: an event, an accident, a decision. To really get this, let's use an example we can all picture. So, imagine a car crash. One driver was being careless, and because of that, another person got hurt. Now what? Does the careless driver get arrested and face criminal charges, or does the injured person hire a lawyer and sue them for money? Which path does this story take? And here's the twist. The answer is it could be both. That one single car crash can actually kick off two totally different legal journeys, often happening at the very same time. It's like the story splits into two parallel tracks. So let's follow that first track. So that first path, that's the criminal track. And the key thing to understand here is that this isn't seen as just a fight between two people. This is about an offense against all of us, against society itself. It's a public wrong. So criminal law is all about setting the rules for behavior that society just won't accept. With our car crash, driving carelessly isn't just a problem for the person who got hit, it's a danger to everyone on the road. And that's why the government, the state, gets involved. It's their job to enforce the rules that keep us all safe. And because it's a public wrong, the players in the courtroom are different. Get this, the person who is actually injured, they're not the one bringing the case. It's the state, sometimes called the Crown or the prosecution, that charges the person accused of the crime, who we call the defendant. It's basically society versus one individual. And of course, it's not just about driving. We're talking about the big stuff, right? Things like theft, fraud, assault. These aren't just private issues. They're seen as acts that tear at the fabric of our community, affecting everyone's sense of safety and order. Now this is maybe the most important principle in all of criminal justice. The government has enormous power, so to protect you and me, the bar for proving someone committed a crime is incredibly high. The person accused doesn't have to prove they're innocent, the state has to prove without a doubt that they're guilty. And while all of this is going on, that second legal track can be moving forward at the exact same time. All right, so let's switch gears and jump over to that second track, the civil track. While the criminal case is playing out, a whole other legal process can be happening, and this one is all about sorting out private disputes. See, civil law is the system we use to fix disagreements between people or companies. The main goal here isn't punishment, it's about putting things right, and that usually means money, or what the law calls compensation. So in our car crash, the injured person can use civil law to get money for their hospital bills, the salary they lost while out of work, all of it. And look at who's in the ring here. It's a straight-up dispute. The person who is harmed, who's now called the claimant, brings the lawsuit directly against the person they say is responsible, the defendant. The state isn't taking a side here. It's just providing the referee and the rulebook to help them settle it. And wow, the world of civil law is huge. It covers everything from personal injury cases like our car crash, to a business partner breaking a contract, to difficult family stuff like divorce or even disputes at work. It's all about one thing: trying to make someone whole again after they've suffered some kind of loss. Okay, so we've got these two parallel tracks, right? Two completely different missions. So let's really put them head to head and look at the most critical differences: how much proof you need, who's involved, and what happens at the finish line. This right here, this is probably the biggest, most crucial difference between the two. In a criminal case where someone's freedom could be taken away, the prosecution has to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You can think of that as being like 99% certain. It's a massive hurdle. But in a civil case, the standard is just the balance of probabilities. All that means is it more likely than not? If the evidence suggests it's even 51% likely that their story is true, they win. It's just about tipping the scales, even slightly. So this table really lays it all out, nice and simple. Criminal law, the whole point is to punish. The state takes on a defendant, the proof has to be almost 100%. And the outcome is punishment, like a fine or even jail time. Civil law, the point is to compensate. A claimant takes on a defendant, the proof just has to be more likely than not. And the outcome? Money, to make things right. Two different games, two different rule books. The differences don't stop there. They even go right down to a really fundamental question. Who is even allowed to get up and speak in court? The rules for witnesses can also be quite different, and it tells you a lot about what each system cares about most. So, think about this. Can anyone be a witness? What about a child in a really serious case? Does a judge just take their word for it? Or is there some kind of test they have to pass first before they can even talk?
Well, the first hurdle anyone has to clear is something called confidence. Before a person can give evidence, the court just needs to be sure they can handle two basic things. First, that they can understand the questions being asked, and second, that they can give answers that people can actually understand. It's a baseline check, really.
But to actually swear an oath, to put your hand on a holy book and promise to tell the truth, the bar is even higher. And it comes from this landmark case, R.V. Hayes. It's not about how old you are or how smart you are. The real question is this: does this person, whether they're 8 or 80, truly get how serious this is? Do they understand that being in court is a solemn moment and that they have a special, heavy responsibility to be truthful? So when you peel back all the layers, it actually makes a ton of sense. We don't have one big, confusing legal system. We have two very specific, highly specialized ones. It's like having two different tools in a toolbox, each one perfectly designed for a different kind of job. One protects society, the other fixes disputes. So, the next time you're scrolling through the news and see a headline about someone being found not guilty in a big criminal trial, but then a week later they lose a civil lawsuit for millions of dollars over the exact same event, you'll know exactly what's going on. It's not a mistake. It's not a contradiction. It's just two different systems with two different standards asking two very different questions. Now that you know that, how does it change the way you see the headlines?